So, I've been a fan of the Grand Theft Auto series since almost day one. My first exposure to it was with GTA 2 in around 1999 or so. I eventually backtracked to the original just to see what it was like, and though I preferred 2, the OG game was still pretty fun in its own way. Then 2001 happened, and the hype for GTA 3 started really taking off, and I was all aboard that train. When I finally got to play it, courtesy of my dad renting it from Blockbuster, and probably regretting it once he heard Luigi Gordarelli's,
Some Diablo scumbag has been in my backyard.
shall we say, colorful dialogue in his third mission, I was mesmerized. It was easily the greatest gaming experience I had ever had at that point, at least until Vice City came out. And then again with San Andreas. Several games, and several years later, long story short, I'm still an avid fan and I still play these games to this day. Now, one thing that I've always appreciated about GTA is not something I hear a lot of people talk about, even among fans of the franchise, and that's the references and the callbacks to previous titles. You know, the subtle blink and you miss it visuals or sound bites that were probably only throw in just to appease longtime fans. And this practice goes about as far back as their second game, I think. At least 2 songs from GTA 1 reappear in GTA 2 in commercials or as part of like DJ banter.
It's cloudy today, and we're expecting a high of about 85 degrees.
And again, in GTA 3, a song from GTA 2 appears as part of a radio ad, and even an entire gang is referenced. You remember the Zaibatsu gang from GTA 2? Well, they're back in GTA 3, this time advertising their pharmaceuticals to you by the radio. Going a little further down the timeline, GTA 4 allows you to download ringtones to Nico's smartphone that are basically straight from Liberty City Stories soundtrack. In GTA 5, Franklin's default ringtone is actually a song from Lips 106, which is a iconic radio station in GTA 3. And you remember the Z-Type, the car that Franklin was tasked with stealing? Yeah, that is literally an exact direct copy of the Z-Type from GTA 2, just upscaled and without the Zaibatsu logo on the roof. GTA Online has an arcade game called Race and Chase, which is as far back of a callback as you can possibly get. Race and Chase was never even made. It was technically canceled. For those of us uninitiated, Race and Chase was what GTA was originally supposed to be. See, Rockstar's plan for that game was to give you a choice between playing the cop or the criminal. Kind of like Test Drive 6, if anybody here ever played Test Drive 6 on the PlayStation 1. But they couldn't quite get the police AI right. They couldn't get the police to do anything other than just, ramming into you over and over. So what they ended up doing was they kept that and they just overhauled the entire damn game, centered it around that, and just focusing on the criminal aspect. And they renamed it Grand Theft Auto. A franchise was born, and in GTA Online, almost 30 years later after the fact, that name finally reappears as an arcade game, complete with the same exact font as the original GTA. Now, there are other examples that I could point out, but I think I've taken up enough time, and I think you get the gist of what I'm saying anyway. My point is, as a lifelong fan, I have always appreciated these little references to past games that I've played, and it really makes me wonder just what kind of references we're going to see in GTA 6 when that game rolls around. Maybe some radio DJs may return, maybe some songs may come back, maybe some cars. Given the party culture of Vice City that we see in the trailers, maybe we can expect some dance mixes of classic songs. Now, what am I banking on? Well, banking is probably the wrong word for it, but it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. What if we had an oldies style radio station in GTA 6, but instead of, licensed real world songs, you just play a bunch of original, unlicensed songs from the first games? GTA's 1, 2, and 3 all relied pretty heavily on original music made in-house. And, on that note, I really think we all owe a big thank you to Craig Connor, Jonathan Wilson, and Laszlo Jones for making the early series music and sound what it was. And I think we should celebrate that in GTA 6 with an entire radio station dedicated to it. Now, I don't know who we'd have DJing such a station, which is kind of what made me think about bringing back a DJ from a previous game. Or, here's an idea. What we could do is have different DJs playing different genres, give them their own shows on the station, kind of like what they did with Head Radio in GTA 2, for those of us who played it. They had Johnny Recaro playing rock, and they had Fanny Joe Styles playing pop. You can do the same thing here. You can bring in Tony to play the oldies, Richie T can play, hip-hop. You understand what I'm saying, right? And since the station would only contain the original unlicensed songs that Rockstar already owns, playing it wouldn't really cost them all that much, would it? I mean, I'm no expert on licensing and, the cost of, the music business, but, I mean, Rockstar owns these songs. It's their own creation. What would be the cost? I just think it would be like the ultimate callback, just a huge shout out and thank you to longtime fans of the franchise. And maybe while you're at it, introduce some younger players to, the sounds that made this franchise what it is today. I certainly got introduced to great classic rock and hip hop and pop because of Vice City. That game really, really had a tremendous influence on my taste in music right now. Same with San Andreas with their classic jazz and R&B and contemporary soul. And I'm sure there are countless other players who can say the same thing across all games in the series. So why not keep it going? Why not keep paying it forward? Why not make GTA music finally come full circle? What's stopping you, Rockstar? Seriously, what's stopping you? Do it. You don't even have to credit me for the idea. Just make it happen is all I ask. But if they do decide to credit me, just remember one thing. My name is Tommy Lindholm. I'm the world's worst nerd. And always remember, respect is everything. It's the time you